everybody, it is me, it's Anthony Coach here yet again on YouTube with another comparison video. And in this video I'm going to be comparing Fender to
Charvel.
Here we go. Okay then, right, let's get started. Now, I have got in my left hand a Fender Elite Strat, I think 2018, maybe 2017. In my right hand, I've got a Charvel San Dimas guitar. Now, I can hear you screaming into your mobile telephones and your iPads and your pods and your PIDs. And you're saying, Anthony, there's about £1,200 worth of difference between those guitars. You can't possibly compare those guitars. Well, you know what? This is my video. I can do what I want. But seriously, this is a bit less of this guitar versus this guitar and a bit more, what is the difference between a Strat and a Superstrat? Look at them. They are very similar shaped guitars. There is a lot of similarities with these guitars. This video is mainly why this exists, what this does, how they sound. And it's always important to know that I'm not any kind of authority on guitar brands, and I'm probably going to get stuff wrong. My videos like this are made to start discussions and to hopefully entertain people who like guitars. So if I get stuff wrong, which I'm gonna get stuff wrong, I always do, let me know in those comments down below. And if you've seen my videos before where I've done comparisons on Ibanez versus Charvel, and I've done reviews on many of my guitars, you will know that I like to start at the head, work my way down the neck, and then down towards the body. And try and compare and contrast or review everything that's there. So I try not to miss anything out, but I always do. But before I do that this time, I'm just going to give you a very quick history lesson as I know it. As I say, I might get this wrong. As I understand it, the Fender Stratocaster was invented in 1901 by a man called Les Paul. No, okay, right. So, around mid-50s, Leo Fender made the Fender Strat. Everyone loved it. Everything was amazing. It's got a cutaway over here so you can reach high frets. It's got a wobbly bridge so you can get those tremolo or vibrato wobbly notes. It's got 3 pickups for versatile soundness. A nice playable neck, that's about it. It's ergonomic, it's useful, it's versatile. That was the ethos behind the Fender Strat. Then the 80s happened. Music videos became a thing. Rock music got more, just moreness. Everything was turned up to 10. The look, the image of the band with the crazy hair and the makeup and the stadiums that they would play got bigger and bigger and bigger. So what happened then was rock guitar players demanded more from their instruments, and the people who played Strats used to take their Strats to Mr. Charvel, who owned a very small company or factory, and they would change the Strats and turn them into something a bit more fitting for the time. And those changes that were made back then, they were the foundations of what is now an entire different style of guitar, with companies like Ibanez, Jackson, ESP, making those Superstrat style guitars still. And they are now just a guitar in their own right. Over the years, you know, they're based in this shape, but they're carving out new innovative designs on their own. It almost sounded like I knew what I was talking about, but as I say, I probably got stuff wrong. Okay, so starting at the head, they're both almost identical. Nothing interesting about the head. The Charvel head is a Fender head. Tuners, right, okay, well yeah, this is a Fender Elite Strat, and this has got fancy locking tuners. You might not find that on most other Strats. The way that a Super Strat will usually lock is like this. Let me switch. Okay, so looking at the head of this guitar, the tuners, yeah, they're just normal tuners, they don't lock. But over here at the nuts, that's where the strings lock. Why would you want locking strings? Well, to help keep it in tune, especially when you've got this bridge, which we'll come to later. Looking at the neck of these two guitars, these two in particular are very, very similar. If you get a Super Strat, let's say a Jackson or an Ibanez, then you're gonna feel a lot differentness on the neck region. But Charvel, very, very much aiming to stick with a Fender feel on the neck. And that is quite an important point, to illustrate the differences between Strats and Super Strats. I've chosen Charvel, arguably the most faithful to the original inspiration in the Super Strat world. So both necks feel very, very similar when you're doing all your kind of shreddy stuff. Cutaways, as I said earlier, the cutaway is so you can reach those frets. They put frets up there on other guitars, and I don't know how they expect you to reach them because they've got the wood that just comes over here, and you know, what are you going to do? Put your thumb over there, and yeah. So both a Strat and a Superstrat will have easy access to those upper frets. But again, other Superstrats will have a further cutaway and indeed have more frets. This has got 22 frets. The Fender Strat typically has got 22 frets. You may find one with 21. Do you know of any Fender Strats with a different number of frets? Let me know, I would be very interested. Is there a 24 fret Fender? Don't know. This particular Fender, as I've talked about a couple of times in my review of this guitar, has got a slightly more unique neck in that it goes from a C shape down here all the way up to a D shape, and that's just to make it comfortable down here to do your classic rock chords. What was I saying? I'm turning the tone knob up to get volume. Yeah, that's why you watch my videos. Just to do your classic AC/DC stuff, and then up here for your Yngwie Malmsteen moments, it's a D shape. It's very, very subtle. It's not like I go down there and then I go there and then it feels like two guitars. That doesn't happen on most Strats, and it's a new feature because the Fender Elite is meant to be like a 2018. It's not meant to be a classic or a reissue of what made Fender famous and what people have come to know and love. So there are slight differences to this guitar. Moving over to the body. Pickups, it's got them. It's got 3. Okay. The single coil pickups mean that it's easier to get nice clean tones. These are noiseless pickups, so I can get distorted tones, but you don't get anywhere near the amount of overdrive as you will on humbuckers. Hence, Superstrats. Superstrats generally have those massive humbuckers for those big searingly sustainable leads. Also for the extra volume. And when you're doing those big rock AC/DC chords, it's just bigger. And bigger is better. It's been proven, okay? Some other companies will put a single coil in the middle. Some other companies will put another humbucker in the middle. You will sometimes find a neck pickup as a single coil as well. But generally, the standard on a Superstrat, if that's such a thing, but the standard is that you would have a humbucker in the bridge and then whatever else goes. So, just so you get that option of biggerness. Then we get on to the bridge. Okay, and I've stated many, many times that I'm not a fan of the bridge of this guitar. Let me put the arm in. While I'm putting the arm in, I'll just flat out say it, the Fender bridge is about 1 billion times better than this Floyd Rose. For one simple reason, this is rickety. It's rickety. And now, creaky. Listen to this. What am I meant to do? What am I meant to do with that? Okay, because it is dead loud when I record. And then I stop and then you just hear this horrible, horrible squeaky noise. But this has been designed with just moreness in mind. Someone was using a Fender Strat and was wobbling those notes and wanted more. On a Fender Strat you can have it kind of floating, so you can dive bomb as low as you like, but when you come to go higher, the bridge hits the body. There's a big block of wood. So what they do is they just cut a massive bit of wood out there. And that's what this Charvel has got. It's a floating bridge. It's a true floating bridge with a big cutout, so it can get even crazier, even wider vibrato. And all your whammy tricks are just easier with a floating bridge that's got a cutaway. And you will find that some companies have their own floating bridges. Charvel use the Floyd Rose. There are different Floyd Rose. I know I say a lot about Floyd Rose, but I could change this for a better Floyd Rose system. It's mainly the arm. The arm is rickety. It's loose when you don't want it to be. It's tight when you don't want it to be. It's always been a bit of a pain. But just to quickly illustrate, it's perfectly fine on a Fender to do those crazy firework sound effects. You just can't go up as high because it's the body. What that means is that you get a little bit better stability on a Fender, and maybe that's important to you. It's not as important to me. I will tune a guitar a lot of times if it means that I can get a bit crazier with the whammy bar. This guitar though, you know, it's blessed with its locking tuners and a bridge that is half floating. Now I've got it raised up just a little bit, but it's just a bit more reliable and a bit sturdier. And this tremolo arm, if I could marry a tremolo arm, I would marry a Fender Elite Strat tremolo arm. Okay. Things to say about these guitars in terms of the difference, because I've talked a lot about these guitars in my reviews. So all that remains to be said is, which one do I prefer and which one are you going to prefer? Well, I can answer the first one definitely. My thought process is, why wouldn't you prefer a Superstrat? it's this, but better. It's got humbuckers, which means it's louder, and louder is better. It's got a cutaway thing there for the bridge to go, which means it can do more, which means it's better. You might all disagree with this, I am fully aware of that. The only thing that is better that the Fender can do is that it handles cleaner tones better. That's got a coil tap, okay, yes, I've just remembered that the Charvel's got a coil tap, which I demonstrated during that beginning kind of atmospheric, moody, wonderful, might I add, jam. That was all coil tapped, just to show that it can handle smaller tones and it can give smaller tones, just like a Fender Strat. But it's easier to get, and it sounded better on the Fender Strat, I thought, as well. But yeah, I prefer Superstrats, definitely much prefer Superstrats. Indeed, I just prefer Ibanez guitars, to be honest with you. But I've had a lot of fun doing this, and these are my guitars. Don't let that be. Don't forget that fact that these are my guitars. I've not borrowed these to do this review. I went in a shop and I played both of these because I loved them. I parted with that cash and I want to keep these guitars forevermore. But then the other thing that I said was, which one are you going to prefer? Well, do you want clean tones? Do you want to not have to keep tuning your guitar or worry about not being in tune? Do you want to be versatile, but you know that you're not going to go into the heavy rock? Then Fender Strat, all the way. Fender Strat, you can't go wrong. It's extremely versatile, but its limitations lie in the way it's made up, in its bridge and its single coil pickups, and the cutaway and the 22 frets. Or do you want loudness? Do you want to be seen on stage? Let's not forget the finishes. Yeah, I've gone with a bit of a rarer finish on the Strat. They're typically coming more traditional colours and finishes. Superstrats, again, going back to the 80s, everything was turned up to 10. They were playing massive stadiums long before you get the big screens and people filming it. They wanted to be seen. If some rock superstar is all the way over there and is a tiny little dot on stage, or she, you're gonna want to see them and they're gonna want to be seen. So they went, that's where this has come from, that they wanted the crazy colours. This is mild compared to what you can get. Do you want to showcase a massive personality in your guitar finish? Do you want a big bold sound for your chords and for those leads up here? Do you want a massive wide vibrato for crazier tricks and more scope to do weird stuff with your tremolo arm? I'm not plugged in, I thought I was plugged in. Do you want more frets? Do you want a deeper cutaway, pointier headstock, more metal? Do you want to look more metal? Do you want to sound more rock and heavy metal? Then go with a Superstrat. Obviously, going back to what I said earlier though, this is just the opinion of one very small failing YouTuber. So I'll take it with a pinch of salt. And indeed, just go into your local guitar shop and ask. Don't just take them off the rack. Ask, and you shall receive. They'll let you sit and play them. And just think about what kind of music you want to create and how you want to look. Because playing guitar is all about how you look. Okay? That is my official word on that. Thank you very much. I've been Anthony Couch. Hopefully, you've learned something out of this video. Hopefully it's entertained you in some small way. And hopefully I got stuff right. But if I didn't, then let me know in those comments down below. And indeed, subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this and a few videos which aren't like this. Thank you very much for watching. Fender!